So this guy has done it all. Pride of McNutt, Saskatchewan. Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame member. Calder Cup champion. Memorial Cup champion. AHL's All-Star 3 different seasons. NHL All-Star game participant. One of the best defensive defensemen of his era. And a great name for a player. I only learned how to pronounce his name when I was 10 years old because I had trouble how to pronounce his last name, and I hope I'm doing it justice. Duane Rupp. Now, Duane Edward Franklin Rupp was born March 29, 1938. He started his career in the NHL with the New York Rangers. But the story of how he got to the NHL is quite interesting, and we'll go over it very quickly. He became the major prominence with the Flin Flon Bombers, thus the Manitoba Hall of Fame induction of the SJHL in 57 to 58. He was one of the best young players on a growing Bomber squad back in the day. He eventually turned pro in the IHL with the Indianapolis Chiefs and the Fort Wayne Comets in the 1959 season. 60, he was back with the Comets. 61, he was with the Kitchener-Waterloo Beavers of the BEPHL. 62, he was with the Springfield Indians and the Vancouver Canucks of the AHL and WHL. Then to the Baltimore Clippers, and finally got his way to the Rangers. Back to the Clippers in 64 and the Rochester Americans. Back with Rochester, and then found himself back in the NHL with all teams of the Toronto Maple Leafs in 65. Back to Rochester for most of 66. Got his first professional point in 66 with 1 assist in 2 games. 67, he was part of their Stanley Cup run that year. Didn't play in the playoffs, of course. But 68, his full rookie season, he made it to the Toronto Maple Leaf side with 1 goal and 8 assists for 9 points in 71 games. But his years in the AHL, he was among their best defensive players. Like I said, the 3-time All-Star. 69, he found himself with Pittsburgh and Minnesota in the split season. Put up 5 goals in 59 games. 1970, 16 points with Pittsburgh. 71, 33 points. These numbers were quite strong. But for some reason, he found himself back in the AHL in 72, even though he had 22 points in 34 games with Pittsburgh and had a strong part of their playoff run. 73, he had his best full season in the AHL with 20 points in 78 games. But for some reason, found himself back in the AHL in 74 with Hershey, where he put up 34 points in 67 games. But I think he was getting tired of playing minor league hockey. He jumped to the WHA in 75, 29 points in 73 games. 76, he was playing with Calgary most of the season with 16 points in 42 games for the Cowboys, with 2 points in 7 playoff games. And eventually wrapped up his career back in the AHL with his old pals, the Rochester Americans. His first season with Rochester was 1963, ladies and gentlemen, and he wrapped up his career 14 years later with Rochester. So quite a passage, I was saying. Now, since his retirement as a player, he's also owned a sporting goods shop in Pittsburgh, so he's been all over different aspects. But the Flin Flon years, again, the Memorial Cup, the AHL, second All-Star team, actually, 66, 67, and 74, and it played in the NHL All-Star game because, as it was the habit, the Stanley Cup champions would play against the assembled other teams, and Toronto had won the Stanley Cup in 67, so that's why he had played in that All-Star game. And you know something? He was a decent player. I saw him play with Pittsburgh, and he was well known for setting up the big players on the rush. And, a decent player in the WHA. He really gave legitimacy to Vancouver's defensive style when he could play it back in the day. And, his time with Calgary was quite strong as well. He was a fan favorite despite not playing a full season that year because of injuries and other unfortunate situations. So that's the story about Duane Rupp. Please give us a like, comment, or subscribe. We enjoy what we're doing here, profiling some of the NHL, WHA, minor pro veteran players. If you have a suggestion, please leave it in the comment section, and we do appreciate you dropping by. Have a good day. Bye.